What's another book series that made me who I am, defined my writing, defined my book love, and grew up with me? If I think of that question in itself, Percy Jackson comes to mind. And I put my book up here, and then I also have most of my series here on this shelf, and then obviously my super awesome Trident, which I use for like D&D cosplays and stuff like that. But if I think about that, oh, and my sweatshirt. If I think about that question, I think about Percy Jackson. I grew up with Percy Jackson. I can remember begging for the new book every Christmas. And I mean, obviously, it started with just the Percy Jackson series. And then it went to the spin off series with the Roman gods. And then it went to, I loved the Egyptian ones that were coming out at like the same time as the Roman ones, to the Norse ones. That book series I have absolutely adored since I was like 7 or 8. And with that is Blue Food. So if you haven't read the Percy Jackson series, and there is this thing with Blue Food, which was kind of him and his mom's ways of saying anything is possible. And with that, my whole life, pretty much, since I'm now 27, so about 2 decades. Oh, I'm at 28 now. But 2 decades of my life has been Blue Food. And it's been blue candies, dyeing things blue, enough that even my sister-in-law one Thanksgiving brought her own food because she was like, I am not eating blue food for everything. Because I dyed the mac and cheese, I dyed the noodles, I dyed the mashed potatoes. I wanted blue food. And it kind of died off, by the time I went to college. Like, okay, I'm growing up a little bit. I don't need to dye everything blue. I don't need to collect every blue candy I see in the store. Like, I can grow up a little bit. But then became the Blue Food Instagram. And how this happened, I was on a road trip home from California. I'd been living in Mount Shasta, California, and I was driving home to Ohio, and a girl was riding with me. Her name was Sydney. And Sydney's boyfriend at the time had a taco Instagram. And so, it's a long, like 30-hour drive or whatever. And we were talking about if you had an Instagram for some weird thing, some random thing, what would you have an Instagram for? And it just so happens that during that trip, like that night, I get a job offer from my job in Wyoming from Mr. Dave, who was going to be my boss as a river ranger. And basically the email had all this, welcome to the team type stuff. Here's your information you're going to have to fill out, paperwork you got to fill out. But at the bottom of the email, it said, I'm very much looking forward to working with you. By the way, I hear you only eat blue food. So at this time in my life, I was like 24, 25, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like, I haven't really eaten just blue food since like high school. And even at that, like I eat normal food too. It wasn't just blue food. And I was like, that's really weird. Because none of the references I had, like, even knew about the blue food thing or anything like that. And so I begged him all summer. I was like, would you please tell me who told you I only eat blue food? I still to this day do not know exactly who told that, but I thought it was amazing. I mean, this person halfway across the country got wind that I like blue food. So Sydney and I were talking, and we were driving across the country. By this time, we were in like Nebraska or something, and it was like, well, I think I'd have an Instagram for blue food. Like, we died laughing when that came up. How did this guy all the way in Wyoming find out that I liked blue food? And so she set one up for me while I was driving home, and the Blue Food Instagram kind of became a thing. Now, it's an anonymous Instagram, and I don't post very much on it anymore, so it doesn't really have a ton of followers or anything. It's more just for fun. But that all became about because of Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson was huge for me as a kid. Like, the ADHD type brain, that kind of helped, just having a character that very much lived it. Now, his was because of his demigodness, and it kept him alive in battle and that sort of thing. But it made me feel seen a little bit. Plus, I love the stories. I was obsessed with Greek myths. And then when it came into the Roman ones, I absolutely loved that series. So if I think of a series that help define my reading and writing qualities of today, I would think of Percy Jackson. Typically, if I play D&D, I'm choosing some sort of character. Like, my latest one was a trope of Belladonna, who was a water genasi, so I got to use my trident for it. And I don't really play much D&D anymore either. I've got a lot going on in life, but that was my book of the week that I was thinking, this is a series that I adore and I'm always going to adore. Of course, I'm watching the TV show because even though I'm an adult now, the fact that one of my book series that I grew up loving has a TV show, I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to love it no matter what. Same with the Wheel of Time series. Like, the series didn't exactly turn out the greatest, but I still watched it. I still loved it just because, oh my gosh, they made a TV show out of a series that I loved. So today was Percy Jackson. I have my books up there. I'm going to continue loving them, continue posting about them, and then I'll kind of post some more books that have made me into the writer and reader who I am today. And keep reading, keep loving life, and keep loving everybody around you. Just keep doing your best. Merry Christmas.